Hi, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how you can very easily set up a site toolkit survey with the so-called easy mode. So then you don't even need to use a scripting language. Now I'm going to take you through that. So I just logged into my site toolkit on the web account, and you know what this looks like. Note that you see here the current version. I have my experiments here. I'm not interested in experiments for this. I'm going to look at surveys. And first of all, I'm going to create a new survey. And I'm going to call this easy mode. And I'm saying create completely new online survey. Now, as you know, if you have done this before, when you create a new survey, you always get two demonstration questions, and they already come in this site toolkit survey scripting language. And you might find that difficult. Actually, it's not difficult generally, and I recommend you to learn it, but there is an easy mode, and it has been introduced a while ago, and I just wanted to give you a tutorial on that. So if you click easy mode, then you're now in the easy mode overview, and it looks a little bit different. So you don't have a scripting language here. Instead, you have a warning here which says that easy mode is experimental, and that is the case, but for now ignore that. What you now see here below is a list of your questions. Now when you start a new survey, you get two free questions that you basically better delete. They are example questions. Let's see what they are. There is an example question 1 and an example question 2. And it says what type they are and so on. Now, for now, I think I'm going to delete these two questions. So the first thing that I'm going to show you is how to delete existing questions. If I click on it, I get all the information about that question. For now, I'm just going to delete it. So it says delete. If you do this, this cannot be made undone afterwards. Are you sure you want to delete this question? I say okay. So that question is deleted, and I can do that for this question as well. So I'll quickly delete it. Okay. So now it says there are no questions in this questionnaire. Click the button below to add a new question. You see here this plus. If I hover the mouse over it, it will highlight. I click that. And then what you get in the easy mode is a selection of question types. Now this is already really nice because you do not need to figure out reading the documentation what sort of questions are around. You can just play with this. So a commonly used question is the so-called radio question. It's a multiple choice question, shows a list of items and only one item can be chosen. If you want to know more about this, you can always click the question mark symbol that gives you in a new tab, a new browser tab, gives you information about it. But for now, we're going to ignore that. We're just going to click it. I click radio. Now then what you see is it says, okay, so question identifier. Every question needs to have an identifier in the scripting language that starts with L colon. Label, it's an abbreviation for label. You give a question, you can call it new question 1 or whatever you want. And then what is the main question? What is the main text for that question? So I'm going to ask, in which of the following cities do you live? And then I can give 3 different choices. Now I can add more choices if I want more cities, or I can delete some of them. Now I'm going to have 4 choices. I'm going to first say, well, let's say New York, let's say San Francisco, and let us say London. And let's add one more where I actually live. I live in a city in England called Colchester. Right, okay, so now we have 4 options, and there are additional options that you can ignore because they're advanced. And then I say save question. So I first need to save it. And now what I can even do is I can go to the preview this question in a new browser tab. If I do that, I see what the question would look like if I would use it. And I can, if you click one, you can click the button to go on. Now, where basically we have one question in our survey. So I go back to the easymode overview. And now I see here I have my new question 1. It's of type radio, and I have my question here. It summarizes it. I can add more questions, for example, by pressing this plus. And then I can add any of the other types, and I leave that to you. You get the point now. So you can also embed experiments this way, so it's very easy. So you click experiment, for example. For embedded experiments, you do not need to have a main question text, so you can just leave this empty, and you can choose one of your experiments, and then you say, okay, save my question. And if I go back to the overview, now I see I have 2 questions. And that's basically the whole idea of the easy mode. If you want to compile and get your questions ready for an online survey, you need to go back to the regular overview. And now you see here, now you see the same questions in the scripting language. So this is also a good way to make yourself familiar with the scripting language. And now you can, what you need to do if you want to run it, you say compile, as you're used to. And then it says your survey was compiled successfully. Now, if you do this for the first time, you still need to also make the survey online available. And you do that by clicking here on survey status. Should this survey be online accessible? Yes. And you need to choose one of these. I usually just go with studies being designed. Change survey status. So, okay. And now I have also received a URL. It's great. I can click here to try it out. So this is my survey. I have my questions here. Where do you live? And you have an experiment and so on. I go back to the main editor. What's nice here is that it's an easier way to enter your questions. You still need to enter, of course, the survey intro screen and so on. But for some people, especially if you're new to Site Toolkit online surveys, this might be really useful. Let me know what you think about it. I'm still improving the software underlying it. If I like to get your feedback, let me know what you think, and I hope that you find this documentation helpful.